I think I have a question. Like,
Mm.
so how, like, did you realize that, like, that transition, like, when you're like what your, like, initial, like, before coming to, or let's say, like, how you had, like, or your opinions toward, like, certain things, and then, like, how it changed after coming here, and then, like, did you realize that transformation,
How did I realize that
or
transformation?
or did you realize that in the beginning? When did you realize, maybe?
Oh, okay. I realized it actually was when I was still in Vietnam.
Oh,
Yeah, because
so
like
you, like, you had, like, this this certain, like, viewpoint about, like, certain
right.
things, and then, like, after you came to our language, like, those
Mm-hmm.
viewpoints were changed, and you realized that those were changed only after going back home.
No, not really.
No, okay.
It's more because so like here our conceptual framework here was quite different from
Right.
like it's more liberal, it's more
Right.
Western
Right.
compared to the conventional thinking system that we have in Vietnam.
Right.
But like when I think it's when I began the college application
Right.
process that I became strongly exposed to this conceptual framework, like the Western liberal conceptual
Right.
framework. And it was from then that I realized some conflicts starting to emerge between
Right.
me and like family members.
Right.
Because not until I came here that all those things became more obvious, more nuanced,
Right.
and somehow like at some point irreconcilable.
Right.
So I don't know, but it's about your story. So
Right.
please say something.
So, like,
So like yeah, actually you raised a very interesting question about like the way the ideas get into our mind, not only through the physical living, but
Right.
a lot through the cognitive sphere, mental sphere.
Right.
And now that we have the internet,
Right.
the transmission of ideas just came across much faster than ever.
Right.
How about you? Did the same thing happen to you when you were in Nepal?
Like, the change in, like,
Yeah.
like, the transformation.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I don't think I have, like, a specific point when, like,
Yeah, it's hard to define a specific
Um,
point.
but I mean, I used to, like, read books and, like, go through the internet, and I probably, like, most of the information that came along my way. If you wanna categorize certain, like, political viewpoint of all those ideas that came to me, maybe you can term them as, like, mostly lying towards the Western liberal, like, bin, maybe. But then, like, so, like, that was like started, like, ever since I started, like, using the internet or, like, reading books and stuff. So it was, like, from long time ago, like middle school, around that time. And so I guess, like, that particular, like, change was, like, maybe gradual, not abrupt, and I don't even know, like, um, with my family, I think, like, they were, like, I mean, I think I realized that, like, my family is quite different than most of the families I've seen. Like, they have, like I think, like, I agree with my family more than I would agree with my other friends' family, like, majority friends' family.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why that's the case. But that's the case, right?
So like, do you think it's because your family, your parents, from the beginning have been more treating you in a more democratic way than the way?
I mean, not like it's not more. I mean, like, that. Yeah, sure, but I'm like, the thing that I'm not sure about is, like, how they have that particular viewpoint. Maybe, like, usually it sprouts from, like my mom's, like, kind of she thinks like education is like really important. Like she like since like young age, like she was like she strove for education. She kind of fought like the society. She was like the first girl in the whole region to like to pass like high school, like this one big examination. And so maybe because of that, like that I would say is like it plays a huge factor. And like it so happened that like her thoughts probably matched with my dad's thoughts, so maybe that's how.
Wow.
um but I mean like yeah, like they have been like treating the like they, I mean because of that probably like they treated like us like pretty like
Yeah.
democratically.
Actually, my parents like were quite in that case too.
Right.
And I think like because when I consider my thinking, especially when after I came here, I
Right.
think it's more liberal, it's more open, it's more Western,
Right.
it's whatever
Right.
than my parents.
Right.
But I realized that my nature tendency, or what I
Right.
term nature tendency, was benefited a lot from somehow rebellious nature of my own parents. Like
Right.
they themselves were a little different
Right.
from other people, other
Right.
adults in the countries. And without their upbringing, I could not be the person I am today.
Right.
Could not be here.
Right.
I
For
think
sure.
the same thing. You
For
feel
sure.
the
Yeah.
same thing,
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess that's it.
yeah. But still, you have to feel some conflicts or something, or like, did you think about yourself, the family, your identity, anything differently after you came here, or it just simply reinforced your like gratitude, if I can say so, to your parents?
Yeah, I mean there was definitely like conflict, especially I think like this is like okay, like this is probably like a very big conflict that or like there like which I attribute to our education. It's like- so like I mean I never like or I didn't quite look like US as like 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 because like I was born in like my country Nepal, and like US is like something I always look like it's like another place. I will like it is a great wonderful place, and it's like where I will get my education, but I think it's still like like another place.
So you like that's part of the culture that you don't feel familiar with, or
Yeah, so that's what I think, and I thought like like US like is not another place for like certain people who are like like native to this land, let's say, right? But then like what I had not realized is like almost like most of the people are not native like like the native to this land. Like there's like only 1% or 2% who are like native to this. Like, everybody like kind of came like me, like at some point, like me or not like me, but like somehow they came here. And then like they kind of like stayed here, and then like they like kind of took this like place as to be their home. So then like kind of I was like, oh, I mean I think or I thought like even if like if I somehow end up like living here for a while, then like it will be like kind of like I won't be any different than like other like people who just came here, and then like after one generation or like in the same people like after me living here for a while, like they can claim this like country to be their home, and the country claims them to be like their people or whatever. Yeah, like I mean like I'm not sure like whether like my plans or like whether I plan to be like like to live here or like settle here or whatever for a while. But just like just that previously I thought like if somebody were to do that, then there's like a distinction between like like this is your like home where you originated. This is like United States, which is inhabited by other like some people who are like who belong there.
Oh,
And
okay.
if I go there, then I would be, I think, kind of like, like an outside person or something. But then I think, like, whatever we like, or whatever I like, learned at Orlam is like, one thing
Yeah.
is that I don't think, like, because like there is literally no, like, no, like, nobody, or like there are very few people who, like, are like native to this land. Like other people are just like skin.
But why you concern yourself with the question of like native culture of America? Why actually, like probably I'm just trying to put myself in the situation. Like,
Right.
if you only want to stay in US for a while, you can simply concern yourself only with the Harlem culture or the education that the Harlem gives you. Why do you think so much about the American culture,
Um, or like,
especially in this school when you cannot feel the American culture that well because we have such a vibrant international students community.
right. Yeah, like that's probably the thing that I like. I used to think probably like that, or like U.S. has this one culture, while it's the case that U.S. does not have one culture. It's like a
Right.
multiple, like multicultural society. So maybe like the same like goes to that, like that argument is, while I thought that U.S. is like inhabited by um like or most of the people in the US are like have this one particular culture, and I'll be going to this place with some different kind of culture, and maybe I would not be like completely blended into that culture, because like because there is this distinction. But like but as is like an open kind of like open society, like now that I know that US is kind of much more open than like than I like probably have had imagined. I can like now see that it's like like whatever form of like culture like you take, it's like it is like by default, I guess, like part of the US culture. If like if you live there, then like if somebody like lives in the US, then that's like US culture.
Oh,
Like whatever call like cultural, like whatever activity you do, like you
So-
walk upside down or whatever, I don't know, like that's all, like that's US culture.
interesting. Yeah. So the U.S. culture is something you make out of it, rather than an existing framework.
Yeah.
You have to draw resources.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like of the society, like like if you say that, if you start with the assumption that US is not like, there is no like there's or there's like very few native, like native people here, and then like everybody is like all the rest of the people have just like come from like lots of different places, and then that's how the culture is shaped.